Steve. Tell me about cameras, Steve.
Boom! What did I tell you?
Steve's fed up with cameras. Steve,
the rule was if I hear the word camera, light, tripod, rig, or anything, I slug you.
Yeah, but what lens do you recommend people should buy?
I'm going to slug you.
We are here for our second. Is it our second or is it our third? I get confused.
This is a second.
Is it a second?
Yeah.
Have we already done one?
Mm-hmm.
This is our Critics number 2 from live season number 2 from IBC in Amsterdam.
God, I don't dig this whole I'm like feet below you. It's like...
Oh, you look little.
I do. It's ridiculous.
Why didn't you perch yourself on the edge here? You look nice.
Maybe tomorrow I'll sit over there and you'll sit down here.
We'll see what happens. We'll wrestle for it. We are here to talk about gear. No, we're not. We are here to do the complete opposite, aren't we? What are we here to do?
Exactly. We're here to talk about what nobody here is talking about, which is
football.
Content.
Oh, content.
No, which is quality, which is talent.
Filming.
We're here to talk about talent.
Filming, we're talking about...
And how to get it.
All of this stuff surrounding us there is more gear here than probably, I don't know, maybe more than my house. What do you think?
Maybe. Don't you have one of every these?
No, I do not.
Well, anyways, I mean, it really doesn't matter. It's like... that's why I just want to slug somebody if they say the word camera, because it's like...
You have anger issues, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just need to slug somebody.
I want to go home.
I got to go home.
I want to go
slug somebody, man. If I don't slug somebody, I'm not going to stay here.
I miss my daughter, my wife. I want to go home.
Oh, they messaged me and they're saying how much fun they're having without you right now.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's good. So anyways, the point is equipment means nothing if you don't have any talent.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is point out if they have talent, we want to recognize them for it. If we see that there's some issues there, we want to help to make you do it better the next time.
I mean, what's interesting, look, you do need gear to make films. Anybody says, I don't need gear. Yes, you do. Without a camera, your film is in your head, and it may be a great audience of one, but not much use to anybody else. But
Conrad Mess.
you need at least a camera.
He has that iPhone. His work is amazing.
You take the iPhone away from him, and what's he got?
Okay, well, he's got that, but everyone has one.
That's what I'm saying. You need to at least have something. But it is one of these things that it gets obsessed about shows like this. And look, let's be honest. We like shiny things. I like shiny things. I like shiny, expensive things, and then I sell them or get rid of them or realise it was a complete waste of money. But that's basically what this place is. Lots of big, shiny things. No, you like nice matte things with black and red on it. So you got rid of the silver. So mostly just black and red.
I don't care about all that. I like bikes.
Bikes is the wrong show for bikes.
I love bikes
here, though. Have you been out cycling?
Are you kidding?
I
ride all around here. This is a haven for me. I have Danish bikes. You ride them with me at home?
No, here.
I ride them here.
I haven't seen you ride in Amsterdam.
Well, you haven't been around me.
Really? I've been in Amsterdam. I didn't see you.
I ride all around, man. I told you I made a little time-lapse video of me riding around.
We're reviewing some. We have 50. I have a list of 50 clips. At least 50 clips on this iPad.
We're not reviewing 50 clips. Make that clear.
Are randomly picking videos,
and we've never seen
them before.
No, this is honest.
We haven't pre-selected anything, so I don't want to do that. We don't want to here's my favorite video.
Why don't you just tell them the truth? Neither of us had time to watch 50 videos.
Well, there's more than 50 videos. To find, the best stuff out there is very difficult. But
we did have somebody curate the videos. So
yeah, thank you,
Chase from Zacuto went through, and now we told him, we want some videos that are obviously that need accolades, and we want some that need help, and we want some that maybe are controversial, and but to just have a bunch of incredible videos makes for a very boring show. Very boring. You tie that in with us. Boring videos and boring us. It's like, there you go. It's not going to be good, is it? We're going to watch the first one. It's called EF 50 Years. Ooh, it better not be about an EF lens. Look at the screen. I have no idea what that was, dude.
It was a commercial. That was a commercial. That's an interesting point, isn't it? Because when you watch a commercial, you really should know what the commercial was for.
I would think so. That's a 3-minute commercial? I don't get it. It's a web commercial?
Yeah, I mean, commercials can be a lot longer these days because of that, because you don't have to buy the time so much as on there.
It was nice looking and everything. I mean, it was kind of cool that they shot all this retro stuff.
Yeah.
That was shot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't archival.
No, that was all originally shot for this.
I don't know what to say. It didn't actually say what they were selling.
So this is the key. It raises a really good point. Is a commercial? Commercial? Some of the best work I've seen are commercials. They're incredible. But if you don't know what the product is, it kind of fails in its primary mission.
Yeah, I don't know that storytelling in a commercial should be any different than storytelling in a feature or documentary. You have to have a story that you're telling, and you have to communicate it to your viewer. If your viewer sees your movie and has no idea what it's about, they're going to say it sucks. I mean, it was pretty, it was nice, it was fun, the music was great, blah, 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 but back down to me, I don't know what you're selling, I'm sorry.
Did you feel nostalgic when you saw the 80s section with that? I mean, they did a very good job at recreating
I felt nostalgic
the feel
when I saw the 60s section.
Oh, you remember those, do you? You actually remember them? You actually honestly have a recollection of the 60s?
Oh, yeah, I remember watching the moon landing with my dad.
Yeah?
I was 7.
So I remember seeing Star Wars when I was
7.
6. Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. But I remember my mom having a beehive hairdo like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you miss the 60s?
The 70s I liked.
That was mine.
That's mine. You're the 80s. I'm the 70s.
Yeah.
70s was awesome.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. It's like I was watching it and it was. You know what I was thinking when I was looking at that? I was just looking at the grading.
Yeah, it was all over the map there. But
but I liked it. I was looking at it, that's nice. I quite fancy that look. I want to try go for an 80s look for one of my next ones.
I think there is. It's interesting you say that because I think there is a look for each era.
Oh, for sure, yeah. The 80s look is, but what is interesting is the 80s is the one that looks the worst in a way because it's the one going from lovely film to suddenly crappy video.
Exactly. But I think there's even a 1970s thing on Instagram, isn't there?
There's all sorts. Yeah.
What?
I try to make my stuff look retro.
Well, it's the Ektachrome. The Ektachrome look is the 60s.
Yeah.
The 70s is the Kodachrome look. Mm-hmm. The 80s is ugly video. The 90s is ugly video.
Yeah.
And the 2000s is HD.
Yeah.
And the 2010s is 24p.
Do you reckon, in 10, 20 years, we are going to be buying these plugins and using these ugly 80s, 90s video looks?
Yeah.
The film converts that we're using now to make things look like old film stock. Hey, I've got this amazing 8K, 16K camera. I'm going to make it look like really crappy SD video from a VHS.
Well, it's funny you say that because there's a show on called The Goldbergs in the U.S. It's really funny.
Yeah.
And it's about this kid. It's actually interesting. The kid, the Goldberg, it's about his life, and so he was a big videotaper like we were as little kids, and at the end of the show these are all real things. They show his 80s video of his dad sitting on his couch in his underwear in his chair because that's what he did every day, and it's hysterical, but they are using the 80s look.
I recently dug out my old home videos that I got shot with my Video 8 camera and stuff. I've re-digitized them and I've put them through some plugins and made them look like Super 8.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only thing you can do.
It's just painful to look at like that.
But at least it's that square format. All right, what do we got next?
The next one's going to be Mexico's rock and roll. I think it was Mexico's rock and roll priest. It's certainly got a title which is going to make you go, and rock and roll priest.
Yeah, I mean, we need something inspiring here. Let's get a good clip going.
Good story. Yeah, let's watch it.
Tienes el gofo. Lógicamente ha causado asombro en el sentido pues de su cabello, de su aspecto personal.
Lo veo y digo, ¿y esta madre qué fue, verdad? Entonces lo saluda el secretario y le dice, padre. Entonces dije, chin, este es el padre.
Esta es la invitación que te hace Dios
en este día que tires a la basura todos tus miedos, tus complejos, tus traumas, porque son esos detalles, hermanos, no te dejan crecer como ser humano y no te permiten ser feliz. Jesús fue auténtico, fue hijo de su época, ¿va? Yo lo único que estoy haciendo o tratando de hacer es de encarnar ese evangelio en nuestra sociedad contemporánea. O sea. A mí el proyecto de Jesús que me ganchó a mí ya después de que empecé a conocer más, pues fueron las bienaventuranzas, ¿va? Sobre todo aquella bienaventuranza que dice, bienaventurados aquellos que sean perseguidos o asesinados por la causa de la justicia, porque ellos van a heredar el reino de los cielos. Terminé decidiéndome por ser sacerdote, ¿no?
Como seminarista había una disciplina que él tenía que cumplir, ahora que prácticamente no existe una autoridad, ¿verdad?, que le esté diciendo córtate el cabello, haz esto, haz aquello, pues desde luego que entra ya su libertad y sus convicciones.
Y si algo ha tenido él en su proceso de hace casi 20 años, ser un joven que ha querido mostrar a esta sociedad que es posible vivir la fe de otra manera.
Me encanta la música, digo, el rock va, la gente que no se atreva a abrir su panorama, pues siempre lo va a estar viendo mal, ¿no? Que estoy promoviendo el satanismo, porque sí lo han dicho, ¿va? Pero pues yo ahora más tomo la música, ¿no? El arte que hacen con el sonido de la guitarra, la batería, todo lo que hacen, ¿no? Porque es un arte también. Pues me siento muy identificado con las motos porque yo me considero una persona libre, que trata de vivir en plenitud su vida. Hay un dicho entre los motociclistas, ¿no? Dice que nada más nosotros entendemos a los perros cuando asoman su cabeza por la ventana, ¿no?
Él siempre nos ha enseñado que servir a un hermano, independientemente de ser motociclista o no, siempre nos ha enseñado que desde allá arriba viene la recompensa.
Y trato de venir aquí un rato, o sea, a veces primero vengo al cine y luego después me vengo un rato aquí a pasar un buen rato, o sea, a escuchar buena música y eso. Pero se llevan otra idea los chavos, o sea, digo, la raza que está aquí, pues ya después se llevan otra idea de la iglesia, ¿no? Pero yo creo que es una manera de evangelizar también.
Él está tocando terrenos en donde la iglesia no hemos llegado.
Imagínate, son como 15, 13 años de formación. Si yo he estado mal, los formadores me dicen, ¿sabes qué? No es por aquí. ¿Sabes qué? Búscale por otro lado. Entonces, sin embargo, pasé cada año de la etapa, pasaba, me aceptaban, era por algo, ¿no? O sea, uno no está mal, ¿va? O sea, aunque a veces la gente piense que anda uno mal, ¿no? Se me invitó a presentar este libro de Juan Pablo Proalba, Vivir en el cuerpo equivocado. Pues bueno, como el tema es la transexualidad, pues bueno, de alguna u otra manera tenía que venir caracterizado así, ¿no? También, digo, si estamos promoviendo la lectura, es demostrar a la gente, ¿va? Que la lectura no es nada aburrida, ¿no? Y yo desde mi trinchera, pues tratar de abrir esta brecha, ¿no? Porque pues, no podemos negar que la cultura cristiana y el catolicismo tradicionalista son los primeros en juzgar a estas personas, ¿no? Sí me ponía máscaras y de Iron Man, de luchadores cuando me tocaba misa con niños, ¿verdad? Pero pues no, hay mucha gente que tristemente se alejó, o sea, por eso. Es muy triste, ¿no? Porque la intención de hacer a los jóvenes y a los niños, o sea, más digerible el evangelio, ¿no? Y más divertido. Y necesitamos una iglesia que realmente acompañe a la humanidad en sus sueños y en sus frustraciones, ¿verdad? Pero si la religión, en este caso la nuestra, la cristiana católica, si no está formando mejores personas, si no estamos siendo más felices, si no estamos viviendo en plenitud, o sea, pues algo está mal, ¿va? Entonces la religión de nada sirve entonces.
Thoughts?
Well, it's a little gritty, which is fine by me. I could care less about that.
You mean in the way that it's shot?
Yeah, it kind of looked like 80s video.
It did, yeah. I mean,
but whatever. It's just a documentary. It's not really so much about the picture. It's more about the story. I don't know. It's like, I guess I didn't get... well, I got to think about this, so you talk for a minute.
It felt like I was... there's a very interesting character there, and I think there's a very interesting story. And when you're doing a short documentary, there's only so much. You tell one person's story really as much as you can, because it's very difficult to go into seeing. I'd love to see and know about the reaction from his parishioners or whatever, and about the way that he does things, because it is religion is an astonishingly it's an incredibly fascinating topic, and it's amazing to watch, because it's endless things you can do about it, and it's very it is very interesting. It just felt like it didn't grab me enough, and it really should grab me more.
Yeah, I would agree. He's a terribly interesting character. They did give us a little bit, some people said, he's kind of right at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's a little bit strange, blah, blah, blah. But I'm trying to think of the story in the arc form of how it goes. So basically it's like, it's kind of what I say a lot I don't like, which is it's just sort of a slice of life. I get this a lot from kids that send me videos. They probably send you videos and they're like, tell me what you think of my video. And it's just a slice of life, but it's just not enough, man. A guy like that, I guess I needed to see something about how he impacted an individual. Again, the way you decide to tell the story through his character, I don't think was a way to tell that. I think it would be more interesting to tell it through some other person, like you said, a parishioner's point of view, because he just didn't narrate his story well. I mean, he's a goofy character. I want to hear, I don't know, I think in this case I want more of an editorial style documentary. I need to hear from kids. I need to hear from other people.
It's one of these things, did he not narrate the story well enough, or was it not edited, or the interviews not asked the right question? I'm pretty certain he could tell his story very well. I
mean, what do we learn about the guy? He likes rock and roll. He likes motorcycles.
He's open-minded.
But
not much, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I mean, I could say the same thing about, I like motorcycles. I like rock and roll music. I'm open-minded.
Are you open-minded?
I'm not a priest, but I mean, that's not interesting. We need to know the interesting part.
If you were a priest, now that would be
interesting.
Screwed up. But I certainly want to make a documentary about
But I guess the thing is we need to know the interesting part of his life. That's all just sort of the background. Now tell me the story.
What was the conflict? Do you feel there needs to be conflict in something like this?
Well, the conflict is that the church wouldn't be accepting of somebody who likes rock and roll music. But yes, you're right. We didn't get the conflict message.
The conflict.
They said it was fine.
There must be something like that. If it was just acceptable or anything like that, it makes it very boring. There must be conflict. There must be people who don't accept it. There must be resistance to that, and that is what makes something interesting like this, for sure. Because that's the whole point. It is a controversial. The way he talks, the way his beliefs are, and the way perhaps his religion is very different, and therefore there must be conflict. There's no way on earth that everybody's like, great.
Well, all they did is present the facts. They said, here, this is what he is.
This is what we talked about yesterday about documentary. A documentary is presenting the facts, but it's how many facts you give.
Right, and how you give them, and what order you give them.
There's not all the facts there. They're giving us some of the facts, but there's lots of the story facts I'd like to know, which is how much conflict there is arising from this person.
It's interesting because I know I've talked about this before, but if you go back to Searching for Sugarman, which I think is a great documentary, look at how they presented the facts. They could have done the same thing here.
Yeah.
So in that story, they're like, well, he committed suicide, he did this, he's not alive. Man, it's not till a fourth of the way into the movie do you realize this guy's still alive.
You found out he's alive really right near the beginning.
No, at the beginning they say he burned himself on stage. Then another person said he shot himself in the head. You need to rewatch the movie.
No, I'm pretty certain you find out he's alive actually much quicker than that.
No.
I'm going to rewatch it right now.
Anyways.
You watch the next one. I'm going to watch Searching. I've got it on my iPad. I'm going to rewatch it right now. You're totally wrong.
But I think they needed to give us the facts later. Like, it would have been more interesting to learn that he was a priest.
Yes.
A third of the way into it. Just show this guy is a rock and roller and everything.
Yeah, of course, the title kind of gives away the fact that he's a priest, though.
Well, change that title. But wouldn't that be interesting?
Would it work, though? Because what makes you watch it? Is it the title?
Well, but it shouldn't be.
What makes you watch it? Is it the title? Is it the thumbnail of the video? Because thumbnails are really important of videos.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, you could come up with a title, but would it not be interesting if we learned about the man and found out about the preaching later? Because you just did that to me. You said, oh, okay, you like rock and roll, you like this, and then we find out you're a priest?
Oh my God, that's pretty screwed up. Yeah, for
that's
you.
the interesting
for you, though,
part.
That's just for you.
All right.
I want to know, what do you think about vegans? How do you feel about vegans?
Why are you asking?
Because we're going to watch the next video. It's called Vegan.
Oh, because I thought it was a trick question.
No, not really. I'm just curious how you think
I mean, I'm
about
not a
vegans.
vegan, but I don't eat red meat, pork, or, shellfish, or,
Are you vegetarian?
I eat
Do you eat
chicken
fish?
and fish.
Chicken and fish. So you're a pescatarian,
I think
poultritarian.
I don't know what they call it. And I don't do it for any...
Is poultritarian a word?
I just feel better. I don't do it for any sort of religious or political or...
Do you think we're going to learn something about vegans from a film called Vegans?
Probably. It's not a very exciting... See, that's the problem.
Let's see. Vegan sounds really boring, but let's find out.
You don't want to give the title away.
Let's do this. Chili, come here, boy.
Anna?
Steve. Does it make you want to eat a salad right now?
Wow.
I was waiting for a punchline.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, the punchline, I thought he was going to eat a big old piece of beef jerky at the end.
That would have been very predictable, though, wouldn't it?
But why is he eating chips? I mean, the whole thing is, it's a role reversal. That just, you had to have him eating beef at the end. It was a huge build-up for this dog, man.
In England, we would call that a shaggy dog story. It's basically telling a story and expect it to have something that never goes anywhere. And it didn't really, it went to the dog eating the food, which is okay, fair enough, poor dog.
Yeah.
And then him eating some crisps or whatever.
I would just say, Shanna, that's a lot of work for a very small story. you know, I mean, you got talent. You put it all together. I liked your little sound design. You had a lot of nice little sound design effects in there. A little overlit. I had to have a little more shaping on the lighting myself. You know, I felt like I was in a TV studio.
Like a studio. Yeah, TV studio, definitely.
Maybe it wasn't a TV studio. I don't know. But I have more shaping now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that it feels like that was her story. And, you know, I really want people to start seeking out writers and getting stories from them, because writing is an art and people really aren't writers, man. You're either a writer or you're not a writer.
Okay, there's a lot of value in at least trying. I'd rather somebody makes that.
Oh, yeah, I know, it's great.
Than somebody just sitting there and perfecting their script for the next 18 months before they make their short. I think it's good to maybe have that going, but you learn from these things, and I'm sure lessons were learned from that, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, more power to make things, but every script has to have, you know, I don't even really feel like any character had any kind of transformational or realization or any kind of moment like that.
Yeah.
Gotta have that, otherwise it's just, here I am.
Yes.
Someone has to change. Someone has to learn something. Somebody has to have a journey. Who had the journey here?
The dog. Not even the dog had a journey.
he didn't.
I think it was cruel. The poor dog had to eat that. I'm sure dogs need more protein.
Nobody
than that,
had a journey. There was no quest.
There was no journey. The knives had a journey. They started off and they made a salad. It wasn't enough meat.
No, it would have made a cute 30-second
I hate to say it,
clip.
but it's not. There was not enough meat to the film called Vegan.
Exactly. It would have made a very cute 30-second clip.
Yeah, it felt like there was. I thought it felt like it was going to be a sketch at one point. Like, you know, that there is going to be a punchline, and it wasn't even that. It just, I'd like it to have gone somewhere where it never actually went.
But you did something. A+ on that.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can forge forward, work on your scripting. You obviously understand framing and shots.
Yeah. And nice that it wasn't just the music, there was sound effects in there.
Yeah, and I want to give her a plus on the sound. The sound quality was excellent.
Yeah.
We kind of flamed your video a little for being overlit, but I'd rather have crappy video and better sound.
Yeah. It could just be a really nicely lit house with lots of big windows.
Yeah, I mean, again, money could be a factor, but I would love to have a big old HDMI streaming a nice shaft of light through that window.
Yeah, it could be like my kitchen, where so just be overlit with just deep shadows over their eyes, and it'd be miserable and horrible. We're going to watch Hell No next.
Hell No?
Hell No,
okay,
which could be anything, which is nice because it actually is a nice title.
Yeah.
And I want to make a little bit about titles in today's one, because titles are so important, and I spent so long trying to think of titles, and not too descriptive, not too abstract. And that's what's really key. And
I think the title treatment on your video is nice, and I want to credit Shanna to that. I thought her title treatment was kind of cute and went along with her video. I mean, every single aspect of your film needs to relate back to the central theme of your film. If you're doing a cute little thing about children, use some children's font or whatever you think works with that. But to just, throw Helvetica
totally disagree
up
with that. Let's move.
Whatever. What do you know?
It's spring break and these kids want to party.
You didn't tell me there was a lake at this cabin. I didn't bring my swimsuits.
Technically, you don't need a swimsuit to enjoy the lake.
But something in the woods wants them to die. What will they do in the face of pure terror?
So I said, fuck this stink-ass cabin. Let's go to Cabo and get wasted.
Critics are calling Hell No the most realistic horror movie ever.
Hey, Carlos. Me and the girls were wanting to sneak into an abandoned mental asylum this weekend with our Ouija board. Do you want to come?
No, I don't.
Smart characters, good decisions.
Yes, unbind me. Hey, kid.
Kind of anticlimactic.
I got that tape that if you watch it, you die in 5 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Here, let me see that.
You will believe your eyes.
Mr. Mayor, I know what it sounds like. There's a monster in these waters. And I think it's got a taste for human blood.
You there! You're gonna need a bigger sign!
Logic.
Hey, do you guys think we should split up?
No!
Reason.
I'm gonna wait for backup.
Critical thinking.
God damn it, it's not a car, it's a puzzle. You've got to line up the insignia before you...
Why are you still filming?
We gotta document this, don't worry about it.
Spoiler alert, everyone lives.
That's it. That's it, you did it. It's over. It's finally over.
With a twist ending you'll probably see coming.
Not yet, it ain't. Now it's over.
Yes, the box. What are you doing? Oh no! Oh, what? Oh, Jesus!
No.
Did you ever see Scream?
No.
You never saw Scream?
No, I'm not really into that genre that much.
But Scream did something in the 90s. It was revolutionary back then because it took the horror genre and it turned it on its head because it was basically this, essentially. It's like, oh, why would we do this? That's what happens in horror films. But that was done in the 90s. I mean, it was cute, but it was, the fake trailer, but it's kind of the idea was done by the Scream series quite some time ago.
Well, I mean, many films have been redone a million times, and it doesn't mean that you can't do it better.
It was cute. There's some nice moments in it. But it wasn't the fake trailer things. What do you think about fake trailers? Rather than making an actual film, making a fake trailer.
Well, it's a trailer. So, I mean, there's an art form to making a trailer.
But it's a fake trailer, because a real trailer is a trailer of a real film. This is obviously...
Well, okay, but with the storytelling part of it's the same.
Sure.
The way you present facts in a trailer is very important. You don't want to give the story away. There's different theories to how you do this. Sometimes you give them a little bit of knowledge. Sometimes you don't give them any knowledge. There's... in this one, they obviously gave us a ton of knowledge, and I don't know, it just, the
problem is,
I didn't feel it.
It's not, it was well done for what it was, and it was nice, and they probably had a lot of fun making it, which is great, but it's, watching it, I couldn't help but just keep thinking of something like Scream. Something like Scream, or even those terrible parody horror films.
Yeah.
Which I like that. It's kind of, I know I'd like to have been really surprised by it. I like to be surprised by when I'm watching something.
It was funny because when it first started, I said to you, this could be really good.
Yes.
But it went into a direction that I just didn't dig. I don't know. I mean, it's just a personal preference. I'm sorry. I just didn't really like it.
It is tough when you're watching something because, And
I don't have any advice either, which is unbelievable.
100% honesty, when you're watching stuff that's been sent to you, do you always watch it to the end?
If I'm going to comment on it, I always watch it to the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, you probably get a lot of videos sent to you. I mean, I get at least about 3 to 5 a week.
Yeah.
And if I comment on it, if somebody sends me something, I will watch it all the way to the end, unless I think it's going in a horribly bad direction, and then I'll spot check it and see what's happening.
It is difficult because it is, if I was watching this, and we talked about this yesterday, we talked about watching stuff properly on your TV rather than the laptop, because when you're watching it on your iPad, your laptop, your controls are right in your hands, and if something loses your attention, it's very easy to scrub.
Right.
Whereas, you're watching at home, you will be more forgiving. And so, the audience is, amount of times, I don't have so much time anymore, but, Neil, you used to be able to watch, you sit down at home, you sit on the sofa, turn on the TV, and before you know it, you've watched 2 hours of crap daytime TV. Like, how have I watched that?
Yeah,
we don't do that when we're watching the internet stuff. We're very, very intolerant about stuff. So it's going to, things have to actually be better on the internet than they do on TV in a way for you to stick with them.
Yeah.
Which is very, it's interesting.
So, I mean, we got to give the guys some advice here. So what's it going to be?
I guess it's kind of, you need to be shorter.
Hard.
I would say you need to be shorter.
Yeah, it's way too long for a trailer.
Trailers, I hate 2-minute trailers, real trailers at the 2 minutes long.
Yeah, 90 seconds or 90 to 2 minutes is a good range.
There's that famous trailer of...
then he could have tightened that thing up. I mean, if I had saw that guy's that face in the ceiling a fifth time, I would have exploded. It was too much.
Yeah, I mean, trailers are an interesting thing because trailers. I love watching trailers because I get excited about movies coming up, but I hate when they give away stuff. There was I can't remember the Harrison Ford movie by Robert Zemeckis, the horror film. God, I can't remember what it's called. It'll come to me in a minute. But they gave away the whole plot in the trailer.
Yeah, it's
and when
terrible.
he was asked about that in an interview, he said audiences. It's the same reason audiences. Same reason people go to McDonald's is they like to know what they're getting. Which I think I don't want to be given everything. So,
I mean, like I'm a Planet of the Apes freak. When the Dawn of Planet of the Apes came out, I would not watch the trailer. So I'm at home with Isabel, we're watching TV. I'm like, stop, turn it off, zoom past it, because I don't want to know a single thing. I want to go blind. Often I'll go to the movies and not even have any clue of what the movie's even about.
It's good, wasn't it?
It was good.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was good, man.
Well,
and it was violent, and I liked it.
But it was an incredible film. I mean,
it was good.
It was a slow build-up, but that's what I loved. It was a slow build-up. And I hate these people who are like, I want to have action straight away.
It was good. I mean, I'm still 1968. I love that one the best.
Yeah.
But this is a new twist that I got to give them credit for. It's different. It's fun. It's not my favorite, but it's great.
Do you prefer them in monkey suits or do you prefer them as CGI? Because there's monkey suit guys outside the front of IBC every morning.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking how much money they could save on the next Planet of the Apes if they hire these guys.
I think I still like the 1968 version, but as they got on, they started putting masks on the people, like 2 feet behind the real actors. I didn't like the masks, but I liked the 1968 makeup. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it is good. But it's, you look at these new ones and they're just amazing. But I would say if you're going to make something like that, the length of a trailer, it needs too long for a trailer.
Tighter,
much tighter, and
shorter.
The gags, the gags were stretched out. I mean, the gag with the kid,
right.
They were too stretched, and that's the key with a joke is you let it move on. Like the thing with the kid, and he pulled out.
It was
his
a Saturday
phone.
Night Live skit, man. They take it too far. It's funny. You're like, shark, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Now stop and let's move on. You don't have enough material to make a 3.5 minute piece. Tighten that sucker up, and you might have a nice piece there.
Yeah. It's interesting. We're going to watch something else now because we've got, we have a lovely, nice length of a show. We're going to watch something called The Black Hole. It's not one of my favourite childhood science fiction films with Maximilian Schell from Disney.
Yeah.
It is a short film called The Black Hole. Did you ever see that film, The Black Hole from Disney?
Absolutely.
Wasn't that a cracker?
And I think Maximilian Schell, didn't he just die this year?
He died, I think he died at the beginning of this year, Marvelous
It's
actor.
crazy how many people are dying this year. My God, the memorial section in the Academy Awards, it seems like it's the time when all these older actors are just... the great stars are all going one by one. It's crazy.
Let's watch The Black Hole.
All right.
Now we're talking, Steve. It's great, you know. This is exactly it. This is a very tight film, which is
tight. He had a cute little story.
Done, I would say, to perfection.
Yeah.
That was just. It was a lovely, really lovely idea, perfectly realised.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a cute little story. It was very simple. He's not trying to, you know, create Lawrence of Arabia here.
Yeah.
It was kind of lit interesting, kind of a real green. He pushed the Office grade big time with the fluorescence. I like that.
Like After Hours Office.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing, which is good.
He had wonderful little sound effects and a nice sound design. You didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah. I think it was really nice. It was
what's supposed to happen.
It was a mini Twilight Zone.
Exactly.
It? Yeah.
Yeah, it was cute.
Which is great to have, you know, so a really well-told story in such a short period of time. But, you know, it was gripping. You know, you're watching it, and that was...
I was kind of waiting for the sort of sexual component there.
You're always waiting for something to go
You were
sexual.
thinking that too. You were thinking that too, and you know
because it was called... No, why were you even going
I
down
just
the
thought he
sexual
was going to do something, you know, I don't know.
Black hole with what? How will you make that sexual?
I don't know.
You
I
are
was
a
just
twisted individual. I'm trying to... Let me even think about... Can we get some...
You really didn't think about that.
Yes, because anybody who has some ideas as to where Steve could possibly go with that, please don't tweet us, because we don't want to read that sort of sick stuff, because that's just weird.
Okay, I don't know.
Aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm a normal man. You're the strange man. What do we got coming up?
I really like that, and I think this is what, you know, it's good to watch. I think it's worth watching that and seeing, because, you know, there was some special effects in it, visual effects, which were nicely done, very well done. The acting was well done. The sound, straight away, the sound went perfect.
Yeah,
perfect sound. Wonderful sound design.
Well, you needed it. There was no dialogue. So his whole dialogue was his sound design, and it was lovely.
It's a textbook example of how to do a short film like that.
Silent film, essentially.
Effectively. We're going to
but
watch,
it's not silent, yeah.
No, we're going to watch one more, and it doesn't have any sexual content whatsoever.
Oh, all right. I'll see you in a bit.
We're going to watch it now. Let's have a look at it. I honestly didn't. I had no idea there was going to be breasts in that. I honestly did not. It was those guys. We said, "You guys, it's yours, so you pick one." And of course, the perverts in the corner picked the one with boobs in it. Anyway, to be fair, we are in Amsterdam, and it's that kind of. Did you know who the name of the first woman to appear naked on Dutch TV was?
Nope.
Phil Bloom. I kid you not. Google Phil Bloom naked. Trust me, you won't get pictures of me. You'll get some Dutch chick who's naked. That was bizarre.
I said to you, like, 10 seconds before it ended, there's got to be some major thing that happens here. Blow me away. Blow me away.
You were, though, for most of that, like...
Well, because I was trying to figure out where it's going. It was stunning. It was beautiful looking.
Do you think we'll even be allowed back tomorrow after showing nakedness?
Oh, jeez. Come on.
Really?
I mean, so what? It's a human body. It was actually beautifully...
It was beautifully made.
It was beautifully made. The lighting was great. It was overlit, but it worked beautifully for that.
Do you know what it was about?
No, but the colors and the textures and the... no, I have
an environmental thing.
For real?
Yep. It's about the fate of our planet. Going from something clean and perfect to just completely destroyed and a mess and stuff.
Well, how do you know that?
Because it says on here.
Well, yeah,
that's it. You should never have to read.
Man. I mean, now that you say that, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, but that's the key thing about a film, and I am really passionate about this.
Yeah.
If you have to read the text info beneath a video to understand what the film's about, then it's a failure as a film. I'm not saying this was a failure. It was very well made, but you should not. When you go and see a movie at the cinema and somebody gives you a leaflet saying, "Oh, you need to read this before you see the film, otherwise you won't understand it." Of course, I have seen movies I didn't get, and I've gone online to work out what the hell was going on in them.
Oh my God! I mean, it's like they went to so much effort. I'll tell you what would have. All you needed to do at the end was show melting glaciers, a nuclear bomb going off.
Really?
All these different things that just then the clicks that okay, this is what's going on.
Or the water drains away and she withers and turns into a skeleton, like in Zardoz. You know that great scene in Zardoz where Sean Connery and
I don't know that I'd want to I mean anything. Okay,
if
well
it had
the point
done that,
is
we've got into even more trouble just because we only showed the top half was bad enough for our family audience.
The point is it needed an end.
Yeah, there was an end though. There was an end for what it was trying to achieve.
What was the end?
It was basically doing the destruction of the planet.
I didn't know that until you told me that. It needed something that made you go, oh my God, I get it.
Yes.
That's what it needed.
Yes.
And I didn't get that because I didn't get it. I got it when you told it to me, and that's too late.
Yeah.
You're a skillful filmmaker, but dude, that was a lot of effort with no punchline.
It was like, you know what it felt like? It felt like a really, really beautifully made film school film. You know what I mean?
Even better.
Because film school films are,
it looked like commercial quality.
It was stunningly well made.
Yeah.
But it was very, I hate to use the word pretentious, but it was, for me, pretentious.
Well, it was expensive to make. That wasn't cheap. I mean, there was a lot of, the kind of crazy. It almost had the feeling of you remember Brazil?
I loved Brazil, yeah.
Yeah, it's like kind of got the future, but then they had like these mechanical metal parts in there. Yeah. It was stunning, but man, you lost me at the end. I'm sorry.
But the key thing is, there's no such thing as a film that everybody's going to like. And there's people who are going to watch The Black Hole and go, boring, predictable, seen it. And that's
I don't know about that.
That's what filmmaking's about. There's no such thing as a film that everybody loves, and I think that's it's important.
There
will be people who have watched this. There are people who have watched this and go, that was amazing. I bet you.
Yeah, every single person in this hall because it looked great.
Yeah, but that's
that's the problem.
Maybe, but there is no. Yeah, I think there's no such thing as making a film that everybody's going to love because thank God we don't all have the same taste because it'd be a very boring world.
No, I know, but we do need the story elements that are necessary, and this was just a pretty pictures, lovely pretty pictures, but we needed the punchline and we didn't get it.
Yes. What about music? What was your feeling about music?
I love the music
in that. It was nice
that.
and French, and
yeah, it was
that
great.
added a lot more to the pretentious feel in a way, though, didn't it?
Well, let's think. Why? I don't know what they were.
Would have had gentle piano music or something like that.
Yeah, it might have been. I agree. I loved the song, so I was really into it. I mean, it made it flow. I mean, actually,
you Shazammed it while it was on.
I should have.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, if it didn't have that music and I wasn't all into it, I might have just said, okay, enough of this already. What's going on here? I might have tuned out. The music kept me watching that.
I know. This you said. This next video has nothing sexual.
Do we have time for one more clip?
We have no more time, I'm afraid. But we are going to have another one tomorrow, unless IBC basically take our passes away and close us down because we are just too perverted, which we're not. Because that is art.
Jeez, you see it one set of boobs and it flips you out. You're from England, for God's sake.
It doesn't flip me out at all.
I'm the American. We're the puritanical country.
Yeah, but you're ridiculous, you guys. Yeah, no, I'm not at all. I just noticed that all of these guys would we had nobody around us, and suddenly we had 20 deep people staring at screens.
Yeah, well, this is a hall of men.
There's a woman. There's a woman over there.
There was a girl.
There's a woman there.
I know. There was a girl that came by my booth, and I was like, "Are you a girl? I haven't seen one of those in a long time."
There's a woman there. No, it's a guy with long hair, and he's got a beard.
There's a few gals here, but not a lot.
It's a very male industry.
I see one over there.
It's a male industry. It is.
Well, the behind the camera. We had this conversation in our booth, not you and me, but me and some other people. It's a behind the camera.
We've had a conversation, but it wasn't with me. Is that what you just said?
No, I've had this conversation.
Yeah, we've had a conversation, but it wasn't with you.
Yeah. But there is a big, ageism, sexism issue in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And for that, I don't know if that's the reason why a lot of women don't venture to the behind the camera side.
There's no reason why, because it is, it's you are making, it's a creative thing. And
I want to ask you a quick question.
Creativity is not.
I did a survey. How many women do you think are in what is the percentage of women that would have responded on my survey from Zacuto? What do you think? We said, how many? Are you a man or a woman?
2%.
9.
That was
stunning, isn't it?
More than I thought.
I know, me too.
More than I thought.
I was shocked.
We're going to have to wrap up for today. We're going to be back tomorrow, which is, I believe, our last one in Amsterdam. But we will be back.
We will be back.
Apparently.
We're going to go live.
We're going to have another interesting eclectic. I think eclectic is a good way of showing things.
Yeah.
I don't want to have shows that are just the same things. I want eclectic. I think it's
the interesting thing was usually we have some of these shows where they're all great, and today we had the opposite. We need a little great in there. We had ones that I wasn't very thrilled with.
What I loved is there was stuff in there. Everything.
We had one great.
Everything had stuff. There was one really great thing, but everything had stuff which was really good and stuff that could be worked on, which makes it a much more interesting discussion.
Yeah.
There's things that can be improved. Anyway, why listen to us? We're just two old men with opinions. I don't know. See you tomorrow.